Good evening and welcome to the Kent City Council meeting for Tuesday, May 6th, 2025. If you could all please rise and join me in the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Kim, could you please call the roll?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Mayor Ralph.
Here.
Council President Kaur.
Here.
Councilmember Boyce.
Here.
Councilmember Boyd.
Here.
Councilmember Fincher.
Here.
Councilmember Larmer. Councilmember Michaud.
Here.
Councilmember Troutner.
Here.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next item is approval of the agenda. Are there any changes from council or staff?
None from staff, Your Honor.
Okay, hearing none, a motion would be in order to approve the agenda.
So move.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0. That moves us right into public communications. We have several items this evening, and we're going to start with the first one, and that is Employee of the Month. So each month here at the city, employees get together and they nominate one of their coworkers that exemplifies our mission, vision, values, and goals here at the city in both their daily work and in special projects. And I'm really excited to announce our May 2025 Employee of the Month is Teddy Paquette. Teddy started working for the IT department on February 16th, 23 as a technical assistant specialist 2. As technical support specialist 2, Teddy is responsible for providing first-line help desk technical support and training for the use of city's computer systems and software applications. Teddy was nominated because he is extremely helpful in with all IT questions. As you know, when you call the help desk because things aren't working, it can be a pretty frustrating moment, and Teddy is very skilled at talking people down and addressing their problems. He always stays on the phone until everything is complete, whether it be our multi-factor authentication, passwords, those kinds of things, and he's professional and helpful. He's also so supportive and helpful when it comes to solving IT issues. No matter the problem, Teddy is quick to jump in and offer his expertise, and he does so without making anyone feel bad or not understanding the tech side of things, which, again, if you've ever called the service desk, that is also a very nice feeling to walk away with. He never makes people feel like they're bothering him. His friendly and approachable nature makes him a joy to work with. He is a great team player and always willing to represent IT and participate in city-related activities and join committees when he's asked to. He leads the IT portion of the new hire onboarding training and receives feedback from each new hire group, takes that information to integrate it in and modify his presentation for future employees. His positive attitude and willingness to help leaves new employees feeling like they have someone in IT that they can contact. Teddy continuously embraces our values, and we celebrate him as May's Employee of the Month. Congratulations to Teddy. All right, Council, the next thing on the agenda is some appointments and reappointments to the Bicycle Advisory Board. We have 5 this evening, so 4 reappointments, and that is Connie Stolp, Baron Yu, Wendy Graves, and Tom Bader. I see a few folks in the audience tonight. Thank you for being here. And then we have a new appointment, and that is Aaron Dent. And Aaron actually is a previous member of KBAB, went off and reapplied to be reappointed. So the information about all of these amazing members is in your packet, and my hope is that under consent that you approve the recommendation. So really excited. We've got a great proclamation coming up for Bike Everywhere Month, and I'm also hoping that Wendy and Julie are going to talk a little bit about the bicycle rodeo when they get up here. So again, thank you very much for your service, and I appreciate your commitment to bicycling everywhere in the city of Kent. That leads us right into the proclamation. So Wendy and Julie, if you want to come up and join us at the podium, I'm going to go ahead and read the proclamation. Tom, as well, we'll get you all up here. We'll read the proclamation, then I'll turn it over to you. It says, whereas Kent residents find that bicycling is a popular and viable means of personal transportation, and whereas the Kent City Council desires to promote the use of bicycling as a mode of urban transportation in our city, And whereas the role of the bicycle in Kent is an economical mode of personal transportation that decreases traffic congestion, reduces demands on parking facilities, and promotes health. And whereas bike facilities like the Interurban Trail, the Green River Trail, and the Sioux Creek Trail are intensively used for commuting, recreation, and other bike trips. And whereas concerns for personal health, having clean air to breathe, and preserving the planet make the bicycle an increasingly attractive alternative to the use of the automobile. And whereas the city desires to have an active role in promoting safety and well-being for those who use bicycles for all transportation purposes, now therefore I, Dana Ralph, Mayor of Kent, do hereby proclaim May 2025 as Bike Everywhere Month in Kent, Washington, and call upon the people of the city to support this observance by riding their bicycles everywhere and educating and encouraging others to utilize this mode of travel. So that's a lot. We're going to do a quick picture, and then I will turn it over to I'll come right over in the middle, front and center.
Thank you. And so I'm Wendy Graves. I am the chair of the Kent Bicycle Advisory Board. With me, I have Julie and Tom, Julie is the vice chair and Tom is one of our members. I do want to thank the council for their continued support of KBAB and all that we do endeavor to do to make Kent a more bicycle-friendly city. And want to thank the mayor personally for her continued support of our bicycle rodeo, which has grown from a teeny tiny little rodeo to ever growing each and every year. This year will be our 4th year. We're super excited. This year we are going to have some bikes for people that show up without bikes to borrow. So everybody that shows up hopefully will have an opportunity to get out on the course and ride with our police officers and learn some rules of the road. So we're super excited for that opportunity. We're also going to have Bike Rescue for Youth, a nonprofit organization there. They do, they match up kids with used bikes. So those kids that don't have their own bikes, they will have an opportunity to get a bike so that they continue their biking adventures here in the city of Kent. So May 17th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the YMCA parking lot. Hopefully you all received my invitation, and we hope to see you there. And thank you again.
Thank you.
I definitely want to say thank you to the members of KBAB. I remember that call about 4.5 years ago. We just need a little bit of funding to get this thing off the ground. We figured that out, have been able to continue that, and you guys have been amazing in putting this event together, and it is now definitely something that we can call an annual event and that people really look forward to. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, May 17th, mark your calendars. And if you go up, they're going to put you on a bike, just for the record. So I think I may have promised last year that I would ride a bike this year. I have not forgotten that, and I'm pretty sure that I'm not the only one that's not forgotten.
I think we're all going to show up.
We can race on the course.
Okay.
We will have spare bikes too, so you know.
I'm assuming they come with helmets, right?
We have helmets.
All right.
Yep.
Fair enough.
Yeah. All right. Our next proclamation is for National Police Week. And Chief, if I could have you join us up here, we'll go ahead and read this. So this proclamation says, whereas Congress and the President of the United States have designated May 15 as Peace Officers Memorial Day, and the week in which May 15th falls as National Police Week. And whereas the members of the Kent Police Department play an essential role in safeguarding the rights and freedoms of the citizens of Kent, and whereas it is important that all citizens know and understand the duties, responsibilities, hazards, and sacrifices of our police officers, and that members of our police department recognize their duty to serve people by safeguarding life and property, and by protecting them against violence and disorder, and by protecting the innocent against deception and the weak against oppression. And whereas the men and women of the Kent Police Department unceasingly provide a vital public service, working to create a safer community for all while strengthening trust and building genuine relationships. And whereas National Police Week is our time to remember all officers who have given the ultimate sacrifice and service to their communities, and while Police Week has always been important to us, it has taken on an even deeper importance in our community after we lost Detective Foth in 2017 and Officer Moreno in 2018. Now, therefore, I, Dana Ralph, Mayor of Kent, call upon all citizens of Kent and upon all patriotic, civic, and educational organizations to observe the week of May 11 through 17, 2025 as National Police Week, and join me in honoring law enforcement officers, past and present, who, by their faithful and loyal devotion to our city, have rendered a dedicated service and are committed to preserving the rights and security of all residents. And while we spend this time honoring our officers, please also join me in recognizing and paying respects to the survivors of our fallen heroes.
Mayor, members of the City Council, thank you so much for this proclamation. It means a lot to us. As it says in the proclamation, this is a week where we take time to do a couple of things. One and foremost, recognize the women and men that are out there every day doing the job right now. The work and the sacrifice, their dedication, and their courage to be out there for us. So that's part of it this week, and we celebrate them. And the good news is that our community has always been really strong in supporting the department and doing that in a multitude of ways, and we love it. Letters, emails, goodies are good, although sometimes it has a negative impact. But they do an incredible job showing their love for their police department. We appreciate it. And the other part is that hard part, that part where we do take a moment to uphold our duty to always remember and try to live up to the values of those of us who have paid the ultimate price for our community in terms of public safety. As you mentioned, that is something that is not lost on the Kent Police Department specifically, and it's our ongoing commitment to just remember what their sacrifice was, what it meant to us, and for us still doing the job, try to live up to the honors that they represent, the values they represented in the way they did the work. So all of that combined, just very, very thankful and appreciative. And so thank you for that. And real quick, I don't want to steal Commander Armstrong's thunder, but as the chief of the jail as well, I also want to recognize that this week is an important week for our corrections staff. I know you're going to read the proclamation. The only thing I'll say to that is, our jail does a phenomenal job of caring for the people that are incarcerated there. And while I think we tend to focus on the fact that we have people that are not free to be out in the community for a time, the truth of the matter is that a lot of times it's that moment that they're incarcerated with us that they turn their lives around. It's the thing that actually allows them the time and space to turn it around and elevate their lives. Just yesterday, we got a message to our social media channels from someone who had been in our jail, and it was a pretty profound statement about how they never wanted to come back to our jail and how they couldn't believe how incredibly difficult the job is of corrections officers. But we're so eternally grateful that they had gone through that they were treated with respect and dignity, and that they now live a good, productive life and have moved forward in life. So I know the proclamation's coming. Sorry for the awkward segue, but I felt like I needed to say that as well. So
Thank you, Chief. It's very important.
Yep.
All right, Commander Armstrong, if you could come up and join us, I'll go ahead and read the proclamation. Whereas correctional officers are trained law enforcement professionals dedicated to maintaining safe correctional facilities and ensuring public safety. And whereas correctional facilities across the U.S., both civilian and military, public and private, adult and juvenile, are run by highly qualified and experienced individuals with a deep understanding of the challenges within the profession. And whereas correctional officers and employees are responsible for the custody, care, and rehabilitation of thousands of offenders every year, as well as the maintenance of safe and secure facilities. And whereas correctional officers and employees are resourceful, capable, committed, patient, persistent professionals in criminal justice in our nation. And whereas correctional officers and employees serve admirably in many different capacities, including jail administrators, chaplains, nurses, supervisors, social workers, teachers, managers, and directors. And whereas correctional officers and employees teach, train, mentor, counsel, and treat thousands of offenders. And whereas correctional officers and employees provide offenders with direction, hope, and a new focus while assisting with reentry. I think that's a really important sentence in this proclamation. Now, therefore, I, Dana Ralph, Mayor of the City of Kent, proclaim the week of May 1st through 7, 2025 as National Correctional Officers Week in the City of Kent and invite all Kent residents to join me in honoring our corrections officers and employees who deserve the recognition for their service and should be commended by leaders in the profession and the public for the tremendous job they do and exceptional performance of duties under the most difficult of circumstances.
You want us to stand again?
Mayor and City Council, thank you for the proclamation. It means a lot to the men and women that run our corrections facility. Difficult job, difficult conditions that we operate in, and they come to work with a smile every single day and do it, which is hard to believe that happens. I've been there for 33 years, and I love every bit of it. I wouldn't change the world. The brothers and sisters I work with are incredible. They do an incredible job in sometimes so difficult situations. We appreciate the support. It means a lot. The proclamation means a lot. The chief did steal some of my thunder when he came up here. I think this kind of personifies what our staff is at the jail, because he talked about what came on social media. And that former inmate wrote, "When I broke the law many years ago, DUI, I went to the Kent Correction Facility, which is formerly known as the Alkeen Jail. They like to call it the Alkeen Jail. I was treated with compassion and professionalism. It's hard to imagine a harder job. I'll never go back there, but I honor the hard work and pray that they continued safety. What a valuable role they play in society." It could not personify us better that we have that effect on people, and we don't realize it. Even in their worst moments, we don't realize it. So we appreciate the continued support and the supports of the citizens, and you guys are welcome to come tour the jail anytime. I will show you around. Thank you.
Thank you, Commander. I do just want to reemphasize, it's easy to think about, locking bad guys away, but the service that our correction officers provide to the people that are taking a little more than a tour at our jail it's life-changing in many, many situations. I've had those conversations with people that have spent time there and then come out the other side with treatment resources, the desire to change their life, and that would not have happened without that. And having talked to a lot of our corrections officers, been on the tour side of the jail, what they deal with every single day is it's sometimes unimaginable. And I have only ever seen that professionalism and smile. So thank you, and thank you to all of our officers. All right, we are going to move on to community events. Council President.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have events happening at Sessa Shower Center. On May 8th, there is a first ever Cookie Hookie, a fundraiser for Community Events Fund. It'll be hosted from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And the Community Event Fund is dedicated to making recreational, supporting, and cultural experiences accessible to everyone in the greater Kent area. This is a suggested donation of $15 per attendee, and the cost funds raised here will help our community come together and support families and individuals who might not have the opportunity to attend different recreational cultural experiences. And I think I've already bought my tickets. I'm hoping my colleagues here will as well, for a great cause. May 10 is a Bollywood pop star Sunidhi Chauhan live concert. May 20th is Kent Chamber of Commerce Regional Business Expo. May 28 is Bloodworks Northwest Mobile Blood Drive, and May 31st is Kent International Festival. Also on May 17 is Khalsa Day event happening at Shower Center, and the parade will be happening in downtown area. And that is all the events I have.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Councilmember Fincher.
Thank you. We have the Breath of Air concert. Every Tuesday night, there's a community meal over at a community supper, served 5:30 over at about a block away over at the Catholic Church there, and that's funded by a group, TTM, Terrific Tuesday Meals. They not only feed at our church, we give the space and some of us volunteer with them, but they do it at a few other places also. So this concert, which is a free concert, it's going to be held at St. Stephen the Martyr Church. That concert is free. They will accept free will donations or in-kind services, but they want everybody to come out and hear the great sounds of the choral group that will be joining them. That's going to be on the 23rd, 7:15, and you can contact St. Stephen's for additional information. On the 17th, the Saturday, same day as Khalsa Day Festival, there's Team Up to Clean Up, which is the big citywide effort to be able to help beautify our city by picking up litter. That's going on. We also have the bike rodeo. We have the teddy bear clinic up at the fire police training center on 116th. It's a big day. There's lots of things going on, so get out and enjoy some of it. I'm going to be at the Teddy Bear Clinic that morning, and then at yet another event that afternoon. But lots of great things go on in your city. Heads up, there's going to be ribbon cutting celebration for Wreath Road. West Hill people will be extra happy. Watch for that at the beginning of June. And I think that is it. More information on the city website, and that is it for me.
All right. Thank you. A lot of things going on around the community in the month of May. All right. With that, we're going to move on to the next item on our agenda, and that's our Economic and Community Development Report. And Bill Ellis is joining us tonight with a great report.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, set you up. It's going to be amazing.
I benefit from high expectations, so thank you. Thanks, Mayor. Good evening, council members. I am here with an ECD update. I'm going to start slow with the a retread chart. This chart I've showed you last time in February, but I'm going to repurpose how I'm talking about it today. Just to refresh everyone, the chart on the right, the blue line is the Kent Valley rent price. The orange line below it is the Tacoma rent price for industrial product. And in very recent times, there's been a gap in pricing where Kent Valley is now at a premium compared to Tacoma. This despite adding supply in both Tacoma markets and in the Kent Valley for a number of years. So the rent growth in the Kent Valley has been remarkable and strong and is actually differentiating itself. there's a lot of news right now about global trade, and I think that will have some impact on us. It already has, in the sense that there has been a lot of stockpiling of goods in our warehouses over the last couple months. And if you listen to the Northwest Seaport Alliance, and you're hearing what some of the trade exports have already are down a few percentage, and we are looking at decreases in the importation too. However, there's some countervailing trends. There's been a lot of large aerospace leases over the last several months all around Puget Sound. Boeing's been leasing quite a bit of property, most recently in Everett. And this is a continuing trend that I think commercial real estate folks are taking notice of. Speculative building of industrial product has been throttled down by high interest rates, but this too might be something that could change in the near future. The Fed Reserve is expected to make some decisions later this week, and with the weakening of the economy, interest rates may come down. Construction costs have been actually more normalized. It's been a couple years since I came here, and I described that a lot of lending for commercial real estate had frozen. That's defrosted a bit. And at the same time, a lot of construction projects were pulled, and so there's a lot of contractors now available, and the pricing for that, the demand, as that supply weakened, I'm sorry, as the demand for that weakened, the supply for that has increased, and so that slackening demand has made construction costs closer to within reach. So this adds up to a picture where we're seeing commercial real estate, now investors and developers looking to acquire, not so much for the immediate few quarters where we might see a recession, or there's a lot that's uncertain right now, but they are still looking to acquire for the next business cycle, because commercial real estate is a long-term proposition. It takes time. And in the name of long-term projects, I just want to highlight one, the 509 investment. It's been a long time since I've mentioned this, or anyone has mentioned this project, but you might have all noticed the construction going on. This is a $1 billion investment in the Kent Valley, in Kent. $2 million was contributed from the city of Kent. But this infrastructure really is leveling up Kent's comparative transportation advantage. If I go back to this slide, already there's a geographic advantage to being in the Kent Valley because of our proximity to the airports, because of our proximity to the central business districts of Tacoma and Bellevue and Seattle, being that centralized location. This transportation investment only levels that up. So we're in an interesting moment where we've already differentiated ourselves based on our geographic proximity, the quality of our infrastructure, but we've also now made a large investment where that proximity to the international airport is going to be increased. The proximity to I-5 will increase. Something that's seldom thought about, but something that should be emphasized, is reverse commuting. I'm a reverse commuter. A lot of reverse commuting. There's a lot of people to the northwest of the Industrial Valley who work in the valley, and they will experience benefits from the 509, even if it's tolled. They will be, it's an investment in their ability to come work jobs in the Kent Valley, which increases the competitive advantage of the Kent Valley for those types of higher-end manufacturing work. So there's a lot of great investment underway, and there's some images that recently our multimedia team were able to take. It's substantially underway, stage 1B right now. We're a couple years off from the full project being done, but this should open 2026, the first leg of it in stage 1B. And this is an important investment in reverse commute, as I said, connection to the airport, some of the biggest drivers in our area, and comes at a time when people are already investing in warehouses. Over the last quarter, there was a 24% increase in investment nationally into industrial buildings. Why? It's still considered a safer asset. Even with all the uncertainty in global trade, it is considered a place for you to put your money safely and experience a return over time. I was recently invited to speak at the Westin Hotel for the National Association of Industrial and Office Professionals, or NAOP. I shared the dais there with some folks from SeaTac and Port of Everett and Tukwila, and we had a lot of fun, a lot of tongue-in-cheek fun, because we were invited to speak as tertiary markets. And we said, we took, fake umbrage at the being called a tertiary market. Third best. And I think actually we're primary when it comes to industrial, thank you very much, and most people would actually agree. And So we had a lot of fun with that with the conversation, but I think it's irrelevant here. And just so everyone knows, the term tertiary market, that's for areas with less than 1 million people. So Seattle itself is actually a secondary market. It doesn't qualify as primary either. Seattle is less than 5 million people. So to be tertiary market was actually in the view of a commercial real estate. It was kind of like they're trying to, it was an honorific, like look for higher yields, look for higher returns in these uncertain times, look to the suburbs. And we pushed back gently and we said, no, we're actually closer than you think. And this big investment in the State Route 509 is an example of that, that we are a primary industrial area. And that, frankly, when you talk to commercial real estate investment of all product types, all across the board, what are they really interested in? They're interested in what are your employer mix? What is your jobs? What are your industries? What are the growth drivers? What are the things that help give us confidence in underwriting any type of project, whether it's retail, residential, or industrial in your community? So a lot of what we talked about was employment, a lot of what we talked about was jobs, and a lot of what we talked about was industrial investment. Which brings me to this update. So here's another drone photo. This one is of the Naden property. You can see that the right in, right out of to Willis Street has been just sort of table set, just kind of as part of that Willis Street improvement. There is now a connection point to the state highway. And I thought I would take a moment to just kind of review some of the milestones that we've had with this property over the last few years. If you go back to 2026, the property was surplused. We approved a zoning change with council's support to allow manufacturing uses in 2019. We carefully tested the market with a request for qualifications in 2021. We got into a negotiation with a developer with Avenue 55 with this concept that then faced those challenges of industrial lending, and we couldn't quite see our pricing objectives being met. And those negotiations ended in 2023. Since then, though, there's been this investment in the highway access. The neighboring Puget Sound Energy substation, and this is one of the defining features of the property, is the transmission lines that run along the eastern edge and that power substation. That's went into permits, and now construction has started for improvements of that substation, projected to start now this year in June and July. And I think that's another sort of very important upgrade for the site and for its competitiveness. So you're looking at new highway access, you're looking at new power access, and in a region right now that a lot of the things that you hear at these business conferences are our region is constrained for power. Adjacencies to substations are valuable, more valuable than historically they have been because people have taken power for granted for so many decades in the Pacific Northwest, generations. But you can't really rely on that like you could. And so that adjacency is now considered a real feather in the cap. So given the environment, I think it's appropriate, and we will this month release a request for proposals to market the site and give a fair way to respond to show your interest as a developer in this property in a really rare campus or build-to-suit opportunity. We hope to open that this month and really test what the commercial demand is and leave it open for a couple more months and report back who is in fact really interested in this property and this rare opportunity to meet some of our goals and objectives. So questions?
All right. Thank you, Bill. Councilmember Boyce.
All right, thank you, Madam Mayor. I must say, Bill, I get a little nervous when I see you on the dais because I think I don't want to be poking at you, okay? So you keep that in mind as you talk. I think I speak for the rest of the council. I mean, I think the thing that you have done, for this city, for us looking out for the market, I consider you a SME, subject matter expert on this here. And also, I think with the Naden property, we have tried different things, and we realized that when it doesn't work, we don't force it. We kind of stop and we just wait it. So now we're at a point now, I think we could try something different, right? So I kind of like what we have done to set this piece of property up, and I think the next step that we're looking at for us to open this up and see what it could be, that's something I would totally support. And I really, I'm a little biased toward you, but I really appreciate all the things that you have done for the city when it comes to looking at the market, understanding the market, and how we bring things into the city. So I just want to go on the record and say I support this. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember.
All right. Thank you, Councilmember. Any other questions for Bill? All right. Thank you.
Everyone.
Okay, we are going to move on to reports. Each one of the council members that sit up here on the dais not only are a part of these council meetings, but they are members of regional committees, meaning that they're making sure that Kent's voice is being heard, not only here in the city, but across the region and the state, bringing both investment opportunity, grant funding, and Kent weighing in on policy decisions that impact our residents and our businesses, and I am very, very grateful for that. I am going to, before I turn it over to Council President, I'm going to start out. I've got just two quick things I want to highlight from the last couple of weeks, both of them related to our students. In the last couple of weeks at Shower Center, Seattle Southside Chamber and LiUNA Laborers 242 Laborers Union put on a workforce development summit. So employers and educators, students came together to talk about how do we support our students in that career path, helping them understand what opportunities are out there and available, and then the path to obtaining those positions. Following that was a career fair with over 1,200 students from around South County and 50 different vendors or employers there to highlight to our students, there's a lot of different career paths. So it's not just those typical got to get a 4-year degree type jobs, but really a lot of opportunity in our industrial valley for things in skilled trades and advanced manufacturing. So I want to say thank you to both of those organizations. The last thing I want to highlight is the Kent Chamber, in partnership with the Kitsap County Chamber, put on the Civics Bee at Kent Meridian High School, I think maybe last weekend. And we had students from both Kitsap County and Kent participating in a variety. It was a multiple choice quiz that they had to score well on. And then as finalists got to speak to a topic and essay that they had written on something that was near and dear to them. And then I had an opportunity to be one of the judges for that competition. Students highlighted everything from conversations around homelessness to connection in our schools, the helping them eliminate the isolation that they feel with access to after-school programming. And one student talked about flooding. She was a Mill Creek student. So I was also very happy to point out that we did not close James Street one time this year because of flooding. Yep, really good news. But was really impressed with these middle schoolers and their thoughtfulness that they brought to that conversation. So thank you to the Kent Chamber and all the students that participated in the Civics Bee. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Pat Fitzpatrick.
Well, thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm going to refer to my report, which is in the council packet, and that's all I have.
All right.
Thank you.
Council President.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Earlier this evening, we had a Committee of the Whole and Council workshop, and we had great presentations on Recode Kent and Rediscover Downtown, and that presentation is available on Kent TV 21 and our social media Facebook page. I serve on Association of Washington Cities Nominating Committee. We had great training on implicit bias, and we had discussions on nominating committee questions, which is a committee that is responsible for selecting the board for Association of Washington Cities for next year. And next meeting will be in person on June 24th in Kennewick at the conference. I also sit on Puget Sound Clean Air Agency Advisory Council as the chair, and we are meeting next week. King County Domestic Violence Initiative Regional Task Force is also meeting next week. And I also serve on Puget Sound Regional Council's Growth Management Planning Board, and we had our meeting last week, and that all the details from that meeting are actually going to be in the council newsletter that we'll be sending out tomorrow. And with that, I'll be starting with Councilmember Troutner over there, please.
Thank you, Madam President. I am Chair of the Puget Sound Regional Fire Authority. Just a reminder that the annual Teddy Bear Clinic is May 17th from 10 to 1 at Station 74. The first 400 kids get a free teddy bear, but you can bring your teddy bear in and get it fixed by some of the firefighters. So it's a really fun event and a great relationship building between kids and firefighters. There will also be fire engines there and an opportunity to spray the fire hose. So fun things happening. But you can go to the bike rodeo and then visit the Teddy Bear Clinic, or the other way around. So there are lots of opportunities for families to be out and about on Saturday. I am also on the Regional Transit Committee, and we meet next Wednesday. And that is all I have. Thank you.
Councilmember Troutner. Councilmember Michaud, please.
Thank you, Madam President. I am the Parks Subject Matter Chair, and I need to thank all the volunteers who showed up on Earth Day, or for our Earth Day celebration, our Green Kent event at Clark Lake Park, including Councilmember Troutner. there. We were able to plant some native trees and some native shrubs, and we had a really great turnout. So thank you all who attended. There is another Green Kent event this Saturday, 9 to noon at North Meridian Park. You can sign up for that online. And then this Sunday, we had our grand reopening of the Kent Commons, and there were a lot of people there. Council members, the mayor was there, and you should really go check it out. We have a beautiful new front desk, and it's really inviting and welcoming, so go check it out. And then the rest of my updates are in that council newsletter.
Thank you, Councilmember Michaud. Councilmember Boyce, please.
Thank you, Madam President. I am the council representative for PIC, which is part of the Sound City Association. Our meeting, we haven't met since the last time, but we do meet on a week from tomorrow. In the agenda, we've been talking about the emergency medical service levy and solid waste. And then we also be looking at ballot measure coming in the future. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Boyce. Councilmember Boyd, please.
Yes, I sit on the local hazardous waste management program. We didn't have meetings this past cycle, but what I did do last Tuesday on the 29th, I did a ride-along with the Salvation Army street level, and I went out and I saw the amazing work that they do out there. There's a lot of things that are offered to people out there who need help. I think what we need to do is figure out a way how to get the word out that there's people out there that's trying to help them. Because under the performance done by Tina Lewis and her crew, she does an amazing job, and I really appreciate it. And I know people seen her out there, so if you see her, wave at her and say thank you for all the hard work that she done. Also today, for those who was able to make it, we was over at the Kent Senior Activity Center, and we did a fraud prevention seminar event, and it was really interesting. We had the Federal Trade Commissioner there, we had the Prosecutor Attorney's Office there, and Tom was there too. He's raising his hand. And it talked about ways how to be preventative from being taken for fraud. You know, fraud is a major thing that's happening nowadays. People are losing their homes, losing their life savings, and so you need to be aware of the tricks and trades and how to defend yourself and protect yourself against fraud. And also, I sit on the RFA Puget Sound Fire Committee, and I would like everybody to think about one of our members, Jovita Thompson. She's a Tukwila council person. She's taken ill right now. She hasn't been to a couple of meetings, and for those who know her, I want you to say a prayer for her, because right now she's still at home, still going through some major issues. And there is a website out for her, because she's obviously her cost for recovery is going to be very expensive. And that's the end of my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Boyd. Councilmember Fincher, please.
Thank you. My report is all of my activities from the week. So in a report, I had no county or local meetings as far as city. Went to West Hill Cambridge meeting, Kent Commons. Those things are in my report, so that's it.
Thank you, Councilmember Fincher. As you can see, Madam Mayor, we are a very, very busy council, and we'll be busy in the next upcoming weeks, and we will definitely have a council newsletter out tomorrow. So if you would like more information on all the committees that we serve, it'll be in that newsletter. Back to you, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
Right. Thank you. Moving on the agenda, the next item is public hearing. We do not have one this evening. Item number 7 is public comment. Kim, do we have anyone signed up for public comment?
We have one person signed up to speak, Logan Evans.
All right. So, Logan, as you're making your way up here, just want to lay out some of the guidelines. You can go ahead and come on up. Public comment period is an opportunity to speak to council and the mayor on issues that relate to the city of Kent or agenda items the council will consider. This is not an open public forum, and comments that do not relate to the business of the city are not permitted. Additionally, the state of Washington strictly prohibits people from using this public comment opportunity for political campaign purposes, including to support or oppose a ballot measure or any candidate for public office. Speakers may not give political campaign speeches, but must instead speak to a matter concerning the City Council's agenda or matters of general business for the City of Kent. We do have a 3-minute timer. We'll put that up on the screen.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. Hopefully I'm audible. Yeah, so I was just hearing earlier the whole plan to develop the downtown, and I think it's a beautiful, wonderful thing. New infrastructure is always wonderful. I was just concerned because yesterday and today I was walking by and there's that beautiful Japanese garden, and there's just it seems like a small homeless camp just sprung up there again. I remember seeing two kind of, hard to say, mildly schizophrenic figures kind of harassing another homeless woman walking by them in the middle of the street. And I just realized that's going to be like, I mean, the main crisis for any development of the downtown, right, is finding a way to, I mean, I still don't know exactly what state or county codes are compelling this situation, but I think that's going to be like the main threat to any development is what do we do if you build something and there's this kind of human barrier to other people wanting to participate or start their businesses here. I know my friend's father is moving away from the city now because of this, which is unfortunate. North Carolina will get to enjoy him. But that's just the only thought I can say. I really support the development initiative. It sounds amazing. It's just that seems to be the cap on every project. That's really all I have to say. Thank you all so much.
Thank you. Kim, any other speakers?
There are none.
Move on to the consent calendar. The consent calendar is a compilation of items that the council has considered, had conversation around opportunity to provide input and guidance and ask questions through the committee of the whole and workshop process. They have passed, these items have all passed out of committee of the whole with no controversy. We've got items A through G this evening. Council President, is there a motion?
So move.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Item number 9 is other business. We do not have any this evening. Item number 10 is bids. We do have two. The first one is for the bid for the Kent Valley Loop Trail site furnishings. And I'm going to introduce Brian so that he can introduce our presenter.
Awesome. Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Council. The Mayor said, for those of you that don't know, I'm Brian Levenhagen. I'm the Deputy Director of the Parks Department, and I'm thrilled to be here tonight to introduce our brand new Parks Planning and Development Manager, Kyle Woods. It's a very important role in our department, and so having him on board is very a good step forward for us. So Kyle brings with him 20 years of experience in municipal government. He spent over 15 years working for the city of Marysville, doing both engineering and park projects. The last several years he spent at the city of Edmonds as their Parks Planning and Development Manager. And throughout his career, he's done a number of projects that will, the experience from those projects will directly benefit projects we have going on right now, from spray parks to athletic fields to regional trail connectors. Kyle is a graduate of the University of Washington, where he played baseball. He has a wife of 20 years, Rachel, and two boys, 15 and 12. They keep them very busy with sports and everything else that teenagers do. So all in all, just thrilled to have Kyle aboard. He's been a great fit with the team. He brings a great collaborative spirit to the way he leads that team. He's definitely drinking from a fire hose right now. We got a lot going on, but from what I've seen so far, he's definitely up to the challenge. So just really look forward to Kyle and the rest of the PPD team continuing to deliver great Kent Park projects for the community. So with that, I'll hand it over to Kyle to talk about the Kent Valley Loop Trails Furnishings Bid Award.
All right. Thanks, Brian. Welcome, Kyle.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and council members. Thanks for the introduction, Brian. Tonight, I am here to present a bid acceptance recommendation for the long-titled Kent Valley Loop Trails Site Furnishings Bid Acceptance Project. So kind of, I'm learning as we go here too. So the background on this for me is the Kent Valley Loop Trail Master Plan was adopted by council in 2014, and it outlined key recommendations focused on trail safety, wayfinding, and user comfort. This project supports all three goals by installing and upgrading trail furnishings such as bollards, and kind of goes in order across the bottom there, benches, emergency markers, trash receptacles, wayfinding signage, trail counters, and kiosks. We received 3 bids for this work. The low bid came from Key Peninsula Construction at $234,544. Their references have been reviewed and found to be acceptable by staff. To support this project, Parks secured a $206,000 trail enhancements grant from King County, which will substantially offset project costs. This trail project enhances trail functionality, safety, and user experience, and is another step forward in implementing our long-term trail vision, and staff recommends award. Happy to answer any questions. Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you. Council, any questions for Kyle?
Make a comment? Yeah. Hey, I just say welcome to the team.
Thank you.
Glad to have you. You joined a great organization in the parks, and we really appreciate you. So thanks for joining the team.
All right, is there a motion?
Yes, Madam Mayor. I move to award the Kent Valley Loop Trail site furnishings bid to Key Peninsula Construction in the amount of $234,544.17 and authorize the mayor to sign all necessary documents subject to final terms and conditions acceptable to the city attorney and parks director.
Second.
All right, we've got a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Other than this has been a long time, this has been a long-term project. I was thinking, Council Member Boyce, that's back when we were on council together.
Yep. That's how it.
All right, we've got a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Nice job, Kyle, and thank you so much. All right, our next item is a bid for Southeast 248th Street Walk Path and Site Drainage Improvement. Joining us tonight is Chad Barron, our Public Works Director.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This is a project related to the Kent East Hill Operations Center. The frontage along that site, here's first slide is just showing some of the progress inside the building, but this proposal or project tonight is really to finish a lot of the frontage along 248th Street. Also some excavation for the storm pond that's related to the stormwater detention for the entire site. If it's work that we didn't include in the original bid, we intended to include it as a separate civil design project, and that is what we're bringing forward. So we went out to bids, or to advertisement, had 13 bids, which is a lot for us. We're hearing that probably a result of some of the federal money drying up, that there are some hungry contractors out there right now. However, with the tariffs, prices aren't necessarily coming down. So they're competitive bids, but not low bids like we might hope for in other years. But with that, we do have a good bid from ACI Active Construction. They're doing some work for us right now on the project, and we would recommend award. Engineer's estimate was just over $2 million, and the low bid came in at just over $1.65 million.
All right. Any questions for Chad? Okay. Seeing none, a motion would be in order.
Madam Mayor, I move to award the bid for the Southeast 248th Street Walk Path and Site Drainage Improvements Project to Active Construction, Inc. in the amount of $1,654,654 and authorize the mayor to sign all necessary documents, subject to final terms and conditions acceptable to the city attorney, parks director, and public works director.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries 6-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. The last item on the agenda is executive session. We do not have one this evening. Before we adjourn, anything for the good of the order?
It's a matter of personal privilege. As those who don't know, I want to make sure you're aware that Sunday is Mother's Day, right? And I want to just say I'd like to honor and express gratitude, appreciation, and guidance that all the mothers give to our kids and run the household. So happy Mother's Day, and make sure you recognize your mother on Mother's Day. Thank you.
And I will weigh in with next and ask for another round of applause for our newest mother.
Yep.
Not technically been a mother for a while, but is a new again mom. So, Council President, we're glad to have you back from your very, very short time away to welcome another baby to your family. So, congratulations. All right, that brings us to the bottom of the agenda, and with that, we are adjourned.